The natural environment or natural world encompasses all living and non-living things occurring naturally. An environmentalist is a person who is concerned with and or advocates for the protection of the environment. Today, we are in the remembrance of Sundarlal Bahuguna. Sundarlal Bahuguna was an Indian noted Garhwali environmentalist and Chipko movement leader. He was one of the early environmentalists of India. Let's look into the major events happened in the life of the great environmentalist Sundarlal Bahuguna. He was born on 9th January 1927 in the village Maroda near Tehri. At the age of 13, he was joined in the freedom struggle, and at the age of 17, he was imprisoned for taking part in the freedom struggle. In the age 22, he met social activist Miraben and Takhar Baba, and he got interested in social work. Soon after, he opened a school for the untouchables. At the age of 29, he married Vimala Nautiyal, a social worker. In the age of 33, on a call from Vinoba Bhave, Sundarlal Bahuguna began long padayatra all over the hills and observed the devastation brought about by the deforestation. At the age of 40, Bahuguna found his calling as an environmental activist. At the age of 94, he passed away due to COVID-19 on 21st May 2021. Sundarlal Bahuguna was an Indian noted Gawali environmentalist and Chipko movement leader. The idea of Chipko movement was of his wife and the action was taken by him. For years, he had been fighting for the preservation of forest in the Himalayas, first as a member of the Chipko movement in the 1970s, and later spearheaded the anti-Thari Dam movement starting 1980s to early 2004. He was one of the early environmentalists of India, and later he and people associated with the Chipko movement started talking up environmental issues like against large dams. Now we can analyze the early life of Sundarlal Bahuguna. Sundarlal Bahuguna was born in the village Maroda near Tehri, Uttarakhand on 9th January 1927. He claimed in a function arranged at Kolkata that his ancestors bearing surname Bandyobhadhyaya migrated from Bengal to Tehri 800 years ago. Early on, he fought against untouchability and later started organizing hill women in his anti-liquor drive from 1965 to 1970. He started social activities at the age of 13 under the guidance of Sri Dev Suman, who was a nationalist spreading message of non-violence. Bahuguna also mobilized people against colonial rule before 1947. He adopted Gandhian principles in his life. Inspired by Gandhi, he walked through Himalayan forest and hills, covering more than 4,700 kilometers on foot, and observed the damage done by mega developmental projects on the fragile ecosystem of the Himalayas and subsequent degradation of social life in villages. Chipko movement. Chipko movement was started on 26 March 1974 spontaneously in Uttar Pradesh in an effort to save areas of trees and forest from cutting by forest contractors. One of Sundarlal Bahuguna's notable contribution to the Chipko movement and to the environmentalism in general was his creation of the Chipko slogan, Ecology is permanent economy. Sundarlal Bahuguna helped bring the movement to prominence through about 5,000-kilometer Trans-Himalaya March undertaken from 1981 to 1983, traveling from village to village, gathering support for the movement. He had an appointment with the then Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and that meeting is credited with resulting in Miss Indira Gandhi's subsequent 15-year ban on cutting of green trees in 1980. These are some pictures related to Chipko movement. These pictures shows Sundarlal Bahuguna's role in Chipko movement. Anti-Tehri Dam protest. He remained behind the anti-Tehri Dam protest for decades. He used the satyagraha methods and repeatedly went on hunger strikes at the banks of Bhagirathi as a mark of his protest. In 1995, he called off a 45-day long fast following an assurance from the then Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao of the appointment of a review committee on the ecological impact of the dam. Thereafter, he went on another long fast which lasted for 74 days at Gandhi Samadhi. However, despite a court case which ran in the Supreme Court for over a decade, work resumed at the Tehri Dam in 2001, following which he was arrested on 20 April 2001. Eventually, the dam reservoir started filling up in 2004, and on 31st July 2004, he was finally evacuated to a new accommodation at Koti. Sundarlal Bahuguna was a passionate defender of the Himalayan people working for temperance, the plight of the hill people, especially working women. He also struggled to defend India's rivers. These are some images showing his involvement in Tehri Dam struggle. The government of India honored Sundarlal Bahuguna by awarding Padma Shri in 1981 and Padma Vibhushan in 2019 for his environment conservation. In 1987, he got Right Livelihood Award for his Chipko movement. In 1986, he was awarded Jamnalal Bajaj Award for constructive work and 1989 honorary degree of Doctor of Social Science was conferred by IIT Roorkee. These are the names of some books written by Sundarlal Bahuguna. Sundarlal Bahuguna tested positive for COVID-19 and was hospitalized on 8 May 2021. The great environmentalist passed away from the world on 21st May 2021 by giving great memories of environment activities. He quoted that the solution of present day problems lie in the re establishment of a harmonious relationship between man and nature. To keep this relationship permanent, we will have to digest the definition of real development. Development is synonymous with culture. When we sublimate nature in a way that we achieve peace, happiness, prosperity, and ultimately fulfillment along with satisfying our basic needs, we march towards culture. Sundarlal Bahuguna also says that we in Himalaya are facing a crisis of survival due to the suicidal activities being carried out in the name of development. The monstrous Tehri Dam is a symbol of this. There is need for a new and long-term policy to protect the dying Himalaya. I do not want to see the death of the most sacred river of the world, the Ganga, for short-term economic gains. Sundarlal Bahuguna, the great environmentalist, passed away by giving a path to protect our environment. We, the young generation, keep going on the path. Being together, we can protect our environment and thus we can assure the existence. Thank you.